We saw a lot of very interesting exterior living spaces during the judging. Did any of them stand out as breaking new ground?
There were some really creative uses of spaces. I think one of the things that we saw a lot of was the mix of fire and water with outdoor spaces that had fire pits and waterfalls together. Created some real dramatic places that I actually think would be cool to hang out in. But I think rooftop gardens were really cool. There were some mid and high rises that had some great outdoor spaces, living spaces that flowed indoors and out up high that took advantage of views and made some dramatic areas that really enhanced the community itself. But I think what stood out the most were some of the gardens that people were putting up on the roof. And the way they would terrace and climb was really great. It was bringing the rural feeling into some urban settings. It was a great blend of exterior and garden and green spaces.
Creative use of construction costs and stretching budgets to create a wonderful space. Is that something that you'd like to comment on?
It is. I think we saw a lot of really elegant buildings that had huge budgets and executed it very well and came out with some great architecture and exteriors. But what struck me was some of the communities that had a very limited budget, it used it in all the right places and created areas that were just as pleasant to live in, great environments, excellent architecture, restrained design, but it resulted in designs and buildings, communities, and spaces that were every bit as exciting and livable as some of the ones that spent 10 times more on their design. So I think it doesn't matter what your budget is, you just want to really create an environment that's pleasant and uses the dollar where it makes the most impact and gives the most benefit to the residents of that community.
In fact, the affordable housing category this year was much larger than in previous years, and we saw some great examples there.
It was, and I think what you see there that really stood out for us was kind of playful architecture, where the colors were used, where it was traditional in design, but they did a playful mix on it and used color, and color blocking was actually one word that kept jumping out. But I think you saw an awful lot of that in these designs where it was affordable, but it certainly didn't look that way. And I think when you design that community where you take advantage of color and massing and elements like that, that create a look within a budget, just is really excellent execution of a limited budget in design for multifamily communities.